Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's movement class. So today's class will be a Hatha Yoga flow class with some pranayama meditation and a nice full shavasana at the end. So today's class is themed around come as you are. So whatever you're wearing, however you're feeling, whatever props you need or don't need, my invitation is just to arrive at your mat with zero expectation of what your practice is going to look like, and simply experiencing being in the moment as we move with our bodies and our breath in this lovely practice that we call yoga. So I would encourage you today to, once again, just continue to explore what's available to you with regards to movement in your body. As I've mentioned before, my approach to yoga is that it's an opportunity for me to have a conversation with my physicality to find out exactly how it is that my body is feeling. When I do it in a mindful and alert manner, I'm able to gain insight into areas in my body where I'm holding tension, areas of my body that feel expansive, but it also gives me an opportunity as I move slowly with my practice to start to explore areas of tension, perhaps in my thoughts and in my heart. So it really is a holistic approach to enhancing wellness in our body, in our mind, and in our spirit, and in our heart throughout our day. So I encourage you to let go of any expectations or preconceived notions of what yoga looks like in your body, or even what you're expecting to be able to do today, and just come onto the mat and explore with me. So we're going to move right into our practice today. So the invitation is to come to standing form. If you feel that you need to, you would prefer to start laying down for breath awareness, or even seated for breath awareness, feel free to choose whatever form feels best for you. So I'm going to start with standing, taking weight into my feet. My feet are a little bit wider than hip width apart. I like to go about a fist width apart when I'm in my standing form, and really taking a moment perhaps to really connect with the parts of your body that are on the floor. So of course that's going to be different if you're sitting or if you're laying down. Just take a moment now to connect and notice what parts of your body are touching the floor. Allow the floor to rise up to meet you, and allow your weight to settle into the surface that you're on, so that you feel like there's some support there, that you're able to trust the foundation that you're sitting on, that foundation is going to give you stability and balance. By doing this, it provides an opportunity for us to establish what you might want to call a home base or a safe space, so that as you're moving through the practice, if you're starting to feel shaky physically or shaky spiritually or emotionally, you can always come back to your home base to gather your breath, gather your body, and come back to a place of connection. So let's start by really thinking about and considering our base of support, whatever that looks like for you. You might choose at this point to close your eyes. For some of us, that allows us to move a little bit more internally into feeling our support. You also might choose to just soften the gaze, keeping the eyes open. So just take a few moments here to really allow yourself to come to the space of your practice. Really connecting with the surface that's supporting you. Taking a moment to acknowledge that we're moving into a place of practice, a place of exploration, moving into a space that allows us to be curious, allows us to explore, and allows for a certain amount of vulnerability and uncertainty. So trying things that you may not be sure of, moving into forms that perhaps make you feel vulnerable. If that feels comfortable for you today, I encourage you to explore. And if that doesn't feel comfortable for you today, then acknowledging that and staying within a boundary that helps you to feel more comfortable. Noticing the sensations in the body. And now an invitation, if it feels right at this time, to bring attention to the breath without changing the breath, simply noticing the inhalations and the exhalations. Perhaps noticing what sensations are present or what sensations are brought to life as you notice the breath in and the breath out. And for those that like to practice with an intention, this might be a good place to set an intention for the practice today. It could be as simple as the intention of remaining present and in the moment. Perhaps it's an intention of curiosity and exploration. Perhaps it's a dedication of a practice to someone who you know is perhaps struggling in their lives right now, or maybe just someone who you have a lot of love for, or maybe there's no intention. Any or all of those options are perfectly fine. And then opening the eyes, we'll just start with a little bit of breath work and arm movement to just get some energy flowing. So let's inhale, take the hands to the sky, maybe glancing up if that feels okay on your neck, and then exhale, pressing the arms with a little bit of energy as if you're pressing down through water, noticing that that creates a little bit more length through the spinal column, inhaling to reach up. Maybe looking up if that feels right for you, exhaling to press down. Let's do 3 more, inhaling. And then exhaling, just starting to connect breath with movement, if that feels right for you today, inhaling. And then exhaling. Encouraging, if possible, to inhale and exhale through the nose. However, if that doesn't feel right for you, then just breathing in whatever way feels best. And then last one, exhaling. Doing some circles with the shoulders, maybe stepping your feet a little bit wider apart. Introducing a little bit of movement here. It doesn't matter to me what that looks like for you. Reversing the shoulder circles. Again, you might just choose to rock side to side. You might choose to create some movement through the hips. Maybe doing some circling here. So just start to explore some movement. Again, breaking away from the mold of a set prescribed pattern of movement, and instead just exploring to see what would feel good for you or what would feel comfortable for you. Maybe reversing the direction. Again, acknowledging that yoga isn't about the movements that you create as much as it is about the mindset with which you come to the mat. So we're looking at using these movements to create more space in our mind, more space in our body. We're using the practice to help create a pause from perhaps habitual patterning so that we might choose to explore our environmental surroundings, so our external landscape as well as our internal landscape in a different way. Maybe a little bit of side to side. So for me, I've irritated my back a little bit a couple days ago. So I'm using this practice today to just explore and see what movements might create a little bit more ease and just sort of exploring where my boundaries are with regards to what my body feels it's able to do. So I encourage you to do the same. So if you feel like you want to move a little bit more deeply than me, then feel free to do that. If you feel like you want to create a little bit more of a boundary, a little bit more of a limited range of motion, then please feel free to do that. That's the whole point, right? Practice more like you and less like me. That's what we're trying to do today. That's what we're trying to do every day. All right, so maybe this might be a good time to start with some forward folding. So I'm just going to come to the top of the mat. This would be a good time if you have any blocks, any props that you might feel will help facilitate movement. This is a good time to bring them if you feel like you need your support dog or cat present. Maybe that's a good time to have them come and help you hold space. All right, so exploring with some forward folds. Let's incorporate that breath with arm movement. So an invitation here to inhale as you take the arms to the sky. And the first one is going to be a roll down. So as you exhale, take your hands down to your side, nod your chin, engage that core. So that sensation of drawing the outside of the waistline towards center, that gentle drawing in through the navel, nodding the chin, and see if you can start a roll down, one vertebrae at a time, using your hands for support on the thighs, all the way to the floor. And the cue here, I would encourage you to create a big bend in the knee to really facilitate some ease in your lower back, maybe rocking back and forth, maybe lifting up, alternating onto your toes, maybe taking your hips side to side, but really supporting. So if you can't get your hands to the floor, maybe using your blocks, and just really exploring the shape here in whatever way feels most natural to you. And then when you're ready, coming to stillness, and let's come up the way we came down. So hands on thighs, returning to start one vertebrae at a time, hands to the sky. And then maybe hands down the midline to draw our focus back to center, to our home base form. Let's do that 2 more times. Inhaling to reach the hands to the sky. And let's stay with this roll down. It's not traditional form for yoga, but I really appreciate the mobility it can create through my back, bending the knees, letting the head hang, hands on blocks, thighs, floor, knees, whatever is reachable. If you don't have blocks, you could use a chair. You could use your hands on the edge of a chair. That would work as well. And then pressing down with your feet and doing a slow roll up. So taking our time to really explore these sensations. Sometimes we move so quickly through our day that we don't actually get a chance to investigate how we're feeling. Arms down. Let's do one more, inhaling. And then head nods, rolling down again, one vertebrae at a time. Using your hands for support, coming to the earth and then side to side. And then really bending the knees, so much so that you feel your belly resting on your thighs, or you feel the space decrease between your belly and your thighs. And then just take your hands to the tops of the thighs, just above the knee, turning the fingers towards each other perhaps, or fingers pointing forward. I like fingers towards each other. Roll the shoulder blades back as you lengthen through the spine to create a bit of a flat back here. The knees are still bent, just creating a little bit of strength through those erector spinae muscles, the muscles along the spinal column. And then slowly folding down. And if you have blocks, choosing to take perhaps your hands on the blocks, let's take that right leg and let's step it back and come into a long runner's lunge. So we're going to keep that right knee lifted if that feels right. If it's not comfortable for you to do this today, then please feel free to take the right knee down. Okay, my variation will be at this time to keep the right knee up and just rocking a little bit forward and back. Just seeing how that feels. And then as you're ready with little steps or one big step, we're going to bring that right foot back up to meet the left foot. Back into a forward fold. Hands to thighs to flatten through that spine, keeping the knees bent. And then folding forward, we're going to do the same thing with the left leg, kicking the left leg back and rocking back and forth. Again, exploring. You might choose to take the knee down and you can rock in this form, okay? You also might choose to have a blanket available to take the blanket underneath your knee. So whatever you need to do to help this feel supported in your body, please feel free to do so. And then again, with little steps or one big step, bringing that foot forward, hanging down with the knees bent, pressing into the thighs to flatten the spine, and then tucking the tail under and rolling up. Hands to the sky, and then hands down the midline. We're going to add on here. So let's take the hands to the sky, and let's fold it down. Hands to thighs for Ardha Uttanasana, or half forward fold. And then fingers to the block or the floor. And let's take that right leg back. We're going to go into our long runner's lunge here. Just exploring that again. Now, we're going to have an option here. You might choose to pause and hold this long lunge, or you might choose to bring the right knee down, untuck the right foot toes, and then pressing firmly through the left foot, walking your hands up onto the left thigh for Anjaneyasana or half splits. You can take the hands to the sky. Low lunge here as you inhale and exhale. Really looking for a stretch down the front of that left thigh. Now, if you wanted to, and you had a little bit of more room to explore, take that right hand behind the back, take your left hand on your right elbow, press the hands back, keep that rib cage closed with the tailbone pointing down, and maybe just take this to the side to open up through that whole right side body, right side lung. Inhaling here. And then releasing, we're going to take our hands to the floor and pick up that back leg. We're going to step it back into our plank and pause here for a little bit of strength. Maybe take the hips side to side, see what that movement feels like. And then we can bring the knees down, draw the shoulder blades back, send the chest forward, and then slowly lower down to the floor for our little cobra. Tops of the feet down. And then let's just keep our hands firm and just do upper body. So there's not a lot of weight in the hands, really just using the upper back extensors here. Tops of the feet pressing down into the floor. We're going to do that 2 more times. If you wanted to link breath to this movement, you could inhale as you come up. And then exhale as you come down. Inhale as you come up. Exhale. Let's do 1 more. Inhale as you come up. And then exhale down. Tuck the toes under and let's bring ourselves into 4-point kneeling. So let's come up and you're going to need probably to walk your knees forward. Toes can be tucked under if you like, or tops of the feet flat. And let's just start a couple of rounds of cat and cow, rounding through the spine. Again, you're exploring only to the level that feels right for you in your body. Remember, it's a conversation. So when we have a conversation with anyone or with our body, we want to give room to hear the reply, right? So if we move too quickly, we don't give our body a chance to be heard. And that's when we can easily skip over opportunities for change. And then we settle into habitual patterning, which then can create ongoing issues with, let's say, for example, muscle tightness, muscle weakness. And it just sustains energy of ignorance with regards to what our body needs day to day. So give your body some time to respond. And the way we do that is by moving slowly. And then coming to center, moving into our downward facing dog. So you might choose to keep your knees and hands where they are. I know that I need to lengthen my dog out a little bit, so I'm going to move my hands up. Press firm into the palms, tuck the toes under. As you're ready, start to shift your weight back. And let's start with our knees bent here. And let's get movement in this form if it feels right for you. Perhaps you want to alternate lifting and lowering the heels. Maybe you want to just create some swing with the hips. Maybe you take the heels wide or narrow, whatever you feel you need to explore. Let's just take a moment here. And then if it feels right, I'll encourage you to come to stillness for a moment. Pause here, see what the body is saying, see how you're feeling. Always breathing, relying on your breath to help you decide where your boundaries are. The breath will work best if it's moving freely, softly. If you have a sense that you're holding your breath or you're panting or the breath is short, perhaps modify the form to allow the breath to come a little bit more easily. And then as we're ready, I would encourage you to either step or walk. I'm going to walk my feet back up to the top of my mat, hands to the thighs, that little Ardha Uttanasana, full Uttanasana. Press down as we work our way back to mountain form, Tadasana, hands to the sky, and then hands to your heart. Let's do the same thing on the other side. Inhaling, exhaling to fold. Hands to blocks or thighs, flattening through the spine. And we're going to move into that long lunge with the left leg stepping back. Again, so you have a couple options. You might choose to stay here in stillness or in movement, or you might choose to bring that left knee down, untuck the back foot, and then pressing firm into the right foot, slowly walking the hands up for Anjaneyasana, low lunge. Now you might choose to stay here, or hands can come to the sky. You also might choose to take that left hand, bend, placing the palm of the hand at the nape of the neck. Right hand can come onto the left elbow, and then maintaining a little bit of stability through the core, through the front part of the abdomen, just to help you maintain balance. Maybe start to take a little side bend to the right, opening to that left side of the body. Inhaling here, exhaling, inhaling, exhaling. And then as you're ready, we're going to move into our plank. So releasing that, hands come down, tuck the back toes, step back into your plank. Maybe do a little bit of side to side, maybe pike, whatever you feel you need to do for yourself. Knees come down, shoulders rolling back and down, chest and heart moving forward, slowly lowering to the floor. Top of the head comes down, and we'll do 3 rounds of little cobra. Once again, using the power of the muscles of the spine to extend, so we're not pressing firm with our hands. And then coming down, inhaling to go up, exhaling to come down. Last time, inhaling to come up, and then coming down. Toes tucking under. Let's move back into our cat and cow. So here we go. Again, you might choose to explore rounding and arching. So for some of us, this will be where we want to be. And for others, perhaps you want to build a little bit more of a strength component. And so if you would like to do that, you might choose to follow me. So to do that, you can extend your left leg behind you and your right arm in front of you, and we'll do a little bit of the dancing cat and cow. So all that we're going to do is elbow to knees, you round your back, and then inhale and extend. Going into your cat, and then coming to neutral. Let's do 2 more. So a little bit more work. Feel free to pause here, to hold, to go back to cat and cow. And then we're going to do the same thing the other side. Extend and reach and round. So again, We're just having a different conversation. Everyone's conversation is going to be different. The information that you're going to get back from your body is going to be different. So you're making your choices based on the information that you receive, not based on what I'm guiding you to do. Okay, I'm just one option. And then as you're ready, let's move into our downward facing dog, moving your hands up a little bit if you need to. Tucking the toes under, let's shift back with our heels, or with our seat, pardon me, and let's take ourselves up. And again, walking through the heels. And then as you're ready, coming to stillness here, pausing for a moment. Now you might choose to stay here, or you could bring your feet a little bit closer together. And the invitation is to take the right leg towards the sky, and then start to turn the hips to the right. Keep that right shoulder moving down, and then bending the right leg as if you're trying to touch your heel to your seat. So really, we're opening through the front of that right hip. Again, this is just an optional conversation. You might just choose to stay in downward facing dog. It's your choice. If you're here in this three-legged dog variation, come back to center, reach the right leg up, bring the knee in, and then the invitation is for everyone to bring their right foot up between their hands, however you might. Take the left heel, turn it in and down as we work our way up to warrior one. So Virabhadrasana 1, walking your hands up. Now, here we are in Virabhadrasana 1, the right knee is bent, the left heel is really pressing down, and the hips are spinning towards the front of the room. If this is a lot of strain through the hips, feel free to narrow your stance or to take the left leg a little bit more out to the left. So allow yourself that flexibility. Listen to what your body's telling you. Find a comfortable place where you can experience the form with relative comfort. And then let's bring the arms to the sky. And let's exhaling, drawing the elbows back and reaching up. And then drawing the elbows back. Keeping that tummy tone, that gentle drawing in of the navel. Inhale up. And then exhale. Now you might choose to stay here, or if you want to explore a little bit more in this form, take the hands and interlace the hands behind the back, pressing the palms back, rolling the shoulder blades back as if you're holding a little orange between your palms. And again, stay here, or perhaps start to look down towards the big toe side of your right foot, and maybe start to fold as you take your hands to the sky, inhaling, and then exhaling. And then releasing your hands, hands come to the floor. Let's take that left foot, unhook the left foot, step the left foot up, and then let's take the right leg back. Pause here. So we inhale and exhale, maybe dropping down through the lunge. And we're going to move directly into downward facing dog. So however you choose to get there, down, up into downward facing dog for a moment. And then let's come into that hip twist, if you like, or the three-legged dog. So you can move that right foot in, the left leg can come up. Exploring here if you like, and then opening that knee. Breathing here as you inhale and exhale. Inhaling and then exhaling, and then bringing that leg back up if you're following me in this version. And then wherever you are, the invitation is to bring that left foot up between your hands. Take your right heel, turn it in and down, really firming through the feet here, pressing strongly into the left foot and strongly into the outside edge of the right foot. And let's walk ourselves up to the warrior one. So Virabhadrasana 1, the left knee is going to be bent. The right leg is straight, and you're pressing down through that pinky toe edge of your foot. Now you might choose to be here, you might choose to step your feet a little bit closer together, or maybe swing that foot out to the right a little bit more. Find your option that feels best. Think of slowly navigating the front of your hip bones towards the top edge of your mat, so that that left hip is going to swing back. So there's a sense that the left hip is moving back and the right hip is moving forward. And then you might choose to add your arms here, inhaling and exhaling. Inhaling and exhaling. Inhaling and then exhaling. Pausing here. And if you wanted to join in that forward fold with the left leg forward, let's take the hands behind the back, clasping them, maybe this time changing the grip so that your other thumb is on top. I'll let you figure out what that looks like. Pressing the arms straight. Imagine you have a little orange between your hands. Roll the shoulder blades back. Look down to the front edge, to the inside edge of your left foot along your big toe, and start your fold. Sending your arms to the sky. Breathe here as you inhale. And exhale. Inhaling. And exhaling. And then slowly release the hands. Take the hands to the earth. Let's step back into our plank variation here. And then either from your toes or from your knees, we're going to lower down. And we're going to come into Sphinx pose. So for Sphinx pose, just extend the arms out in front of you. I'm a little bit limited because I've got furniture in front of me. Just start to walk the elbows back. As you roll the shoulder blades back and you draw the chest forward, pressing down into the hands, you're reaching through the crown, legs are strong and pressing down into the earth. Now, for me, I always feel a little bit better with my legs a little bit wider than hip width apart, but you could also bring your legs a little bit closer together. This is a little bit more, I find this a little bit more restricting on my low back. I prefer to go a little bit wider, so I'll let you explore that situation. And then drawing the shoulder blades back, see if you can soften through the abdomen. What I mean is allowing the spine to bend and allowing the abdomen to work its way to the floor. And pausing here as you inhale. Now, if this is very loud, if the sensations are very strong, you could choose to walk your elbows forward a little bit and lower yourself down. Just pause here as you inhale. And then exhale. And then slowly let's bring ourselves down onto the mat and stack the hands under the forehead. Release through the seat and maybe take a little bit of side to side with the hips. You might choose to tuck the toes under and rock back and forth. Very soothing to the nervous system. And then when you're ready, just come to stillness here for a moment. Let yourself settle. Let yourself be supported by the floor. We're just creating a moment for our body and our muscles and our body and our brain to communicate with each other. So just giving a moment for the sensations that we've experienced to make their way into our brain, to find a spot to settle so that we can have an experience. Just allowing the breath to soften. Noticing where your thoughts are, noticing if you're thinking about what you should be doing as opposed to what you are currently doing. And then slowly bringing your head to center. We're going to turn over onto our left side for the sleeping Buddha form. So turning over onto your left side, the cue is to have yourself aligned from ankle to hip to shoulder to head. Now, for some of us, it'll feel better to have our head down, okay? So depending on, or you could even have the bottom arm folded. So if you know that you have sensitivities in your neck or in the shoulder, feel free to have the head down. If you have no sensitivities and you would like to explore the conversation in this form, what you would do is take the elbow out in line with the shoulder and bring the head into the hand so that the head is resting in the hand, and then just pressing out of that. So rather than letting yourself sort of soften into the floor, press into the shoulder, press into the elbow, and bring yourself into alignment here. Legs are active. And then the right arm is going to come stacked along the torso. And here we are in Sleeping Buddha. You might choose to close your eyes. And there's going to be a lot of shifting and shimmying, which we call pandiculation. And so that's just the messaging of the body and the brain trying to find its balance point. So there's this lovely symphony of muscular contraction happening to keep you balanced. So just take a moment here, do your best. If you need to pause and reset, if you need to bring your head out of your hands, do so. But see if you can just create a sense of stillness in your mind as your body pendiculates to find and maintain balance. Noticing sensations. And then coming out of this to come back onto your abdomen and stacking your head on your hands. And just for a moment, just checking in and noticing. Again, we're just allowing time for that flood of information from the body to make its way and settle in our mind and our brain, creating new synapses, new connections of neurons in our mind, in our body. And then we're going to do the other side. So you can just choose to roll over onto the other side. I'm going to turn end to end so that I can stay facing the camera. And so whatever the experience was on the left side, let's release that and prepare for perhaps a completely different and new experience on the right. So allowing yourself to find some alignment here, shoulder, hip, knees, and ankles. I like to use the back edge of my mat. Think about what you need to do with this arm. Perhaps it stays folded. Perhaps you come up onto the elbow. Okay, allowing the head to rest in the hand. And then taking the left arm along the left side of the body. And then just allowing the mind to soften. And allowing your awareness to open up to the sensations that you might be experiencing in this moment, in this new form. All those little pendiculations, those muscular contractions that happen autonomously, working to maintain balance, to give us a sense of stability. You might choose to close your eyes here, soften your breath, relaxing the top shoulder, the left shoulder, letting it roll back and down. Just breathing here. And then as you're ready, opening your eyes and just allowing yourself with as little movement as possible. shift onto your belly and just let yourself settle here. Feeling the effects of the form on your body, on your mind, on your heart. And then as you're ready, taking your time, invitation to turn over onto your back. And we're just going to go into a gentle twist. So let's start with the knees bent here for a moment. Just let the body settle, find itself supported. And then when you're ready, drawing the right leg in towards your chest, and then lengthening the left leg along the floor. The left hand goes on the right knee, the right arm can go out to the side, palms up or palms down. I like to go palm up because it allows me to open my chest a little bit more. And then as you're ready, just using the left hand to guide the right leg across the midline of the body towards the left. Now you might choose to turn your head towards the left. You might choose to turn your head away towards the right arm. Release any expectation of this leg coming to the floor. That's not really the goal of the exercise. Allow that left leg to stay strong as you feel yourself sort of turning over onto the outside of the left leg. If you wanted to, you could put a bolster or a block on the left side of your body to allow the knee to rest. And just breathe here. If this is too much intensity, if there's too much sensation, you could choose to just draw the knee into the chest and just pull it gently towards the left shoulder. You do not need to go into the full twist here. And then bringing the head to center and slowly guiding that right leg back, just taking a moment, giving it just the gentlest hug. Now, before you lay that right leg down, let's bend the left leg in and now take the right leg long on the floor. If you feel that it's going to feel okay for you, you might choose to lengthen your left leg. You could also keep your left knee bent for a little bit more support through the back. And again, just pause here for a moment and let those sensations filter through the body. Allowing your body to readjust to its home base or its neutral form. And then when you're ready, no rush, we'll do the same thing on the other side. So bending both knees. Let's bring the left leg in. Pause here for a moment. Now you have the option of just keeping that right knee bent and doing a little twist here. Or you could extend the right leg and do a little twist. Or if you have the facility today, you might choose to deepen your conversation by going a little bit more and even turning your head towards the left. So the left knee is going to come to the right, but just be mindful here. If this was a conversation in text, we wouldn't want it to be all shouty capitals, right? We want there to be commas, we want there to be periods, we want there to be lowercase letters. In other words, it's a soft conversation. There's no yelling, there's no forcing. It's a gentle dialogue to see what is available to you in this form. And then when you feel like you're ready to move back to neutral, you can start by bringing your head to center and then gently guiding the left knee back. Bend the right leg up first, just to create a little bit of extra support. Then you can take that left leg down into the floor. And if you want to extend both legs, feel free to do so. We're going to move directly into Shavasana from here, and then we will end with pranayama and a brief meditation. So for Shavasana, I'm going to take it seated, but I encourage you to find whatever position is most comfortable for you. You might choose to be laying on the floor on your back. You might choose to be on your side. Maybe you take your device and you go and lay on your bed, or perhaps you choose to come to seated position as I am. So taking a moment to get yourself comfortable for your final relaxation form, maybe getting blankets if needed, an eye pillow if needed. Just finding a position that is going to allow you to rest. So as you start to settle in, give yourself some room for your arms and your legs. Allow yourself to take up a little bit more space. Softening the eyes, perhaps closing the eyes if that feels right for you today. And I will offer some phrases as if I were your voice. And if it feels right for you, you might choose to silently repeat these phrases to yourself, or you might choose to ignore me and just maintain your attention and awareness, perhaps on the breath or on the sensations of the surface beneath you. So moving your attention down towards your toes and your feet. I invite my feet and toes to relax. My feet and my toes are relaxing. I invite my legs to relax. My legs are relaxing. I invite my hips, my seat, and my pelvis to relax. My hips, my seat, and my pelvis are relaxing. I invite my lower abdomen and my lower back to relax. My lower abdomen and my lower back are relaxing. I invite my middle back, my upper back, and my upper abdomen to relax. My middle back, my upper back, and my upper abdomen are relaxing. I invite my chest and the tops of my shoulders to relax. And the muscles of my throat and my jaw to relax. My neck, the muscles of my throat, and my jaw are relaxing. I invite my face and my scalp to relax. my face, and my scalp are relaxing. I invite the sides of my head, the back of my head, and the top of my head to relax. The sides of my head, the back of my head, and the top of my head are relaxing. I invite my entire body to relax. My entire body is relaxing. Slowly bringing your awareness back to the room, wiggling your fingers and your toes. When you're ready, turning onto one side and slowly blinking the eyes open as I invite you to come into a seated form for pranayama and meditation. So for pranayama today, we're going to work with alternate nostril breathing. So the left hand can stay palm down on the lap, and with the right hand, we'll take Vishnu Mudra. So the first two fingers will fold down, allowing the thumb, the ring finger, and the pinky finger to be free. If for whatever reason you're not able to do this with your right hand, please feel free to perform the same mudra on the left hand. I just use the right hand because that is how I was taught in the tradition, but it doesn't matter which hand you use. So for pranayama, taking a full breath in, exhaling through the nose, closing the right nostril, inhaling for 4 through the left nostril, closing the left nostril, exhaling for 4 through the right nostril, inhaling through the right nostril, closing the right, exhaling for 4 through the left, inhaling for 4, close the left, exhale for 4. Inhaling for 4. Close, exhale to the left for 4. Continuing in this way, inhaling, close to the left, exhaling through the right. Inhaling for 4. Closing the right, exhaling for 4. Continuing at your own pace for 4. Doing one more round. The next time you exhale through the left nostril, releasing the pranayama, coming back to your natural breath. Coming back to your natural breath. Giving yourself a moment to notice the subtle changes that may have occurred with the breath practice. And then moving into meditation, you might choose to have your hands resting palms down on your lap or palms up, or we can take Dhyana Mudra, or the mudra for meditation, which is taking the right hand and placing it in the left hand, and then having the edges of the thumbs touching, and then allowing the arms to rest down in the lap. And again, eyes might be open or closed. And the meditation that we're going to use today is So Ham. The So Ham translate as I am that, which speaks to the belief that we are the universe and the universe is us. And so for the mantra So Ham, it will be said silently in our mind. And how we can do this is, as we inhale in our mind, we can say so. And then as we exhale in our mind, we say hum. Inhaling for so. Exhaling for hum. Taking a natural breath at your own pace. Eyes can be open or closed. Practicing the meditation mantra So Ham. Inhaling for so. Exhaling in our mind, saying hum. Allowing ourselves to settle. As the mind becomes distracted, which it most naturally will, simply acknowledge that the distraction has occurred, and then rebring or return your mind to the practice of So Ham. Inhaling and picturing, visualizing, or hearing so in your mind. And hum as you exhale. Allowing your body to fall into the repetition of the mantra. Allowing your awareness to rest gently on the repetition of So Ham. Resting it gently like a leaf on the water. If the mind gets distracted, coming back to the repetition of So Ham. After the next exhalation, releasing the So Ham mantra, releasing the hand mudra, and just allowing yourself to rest quietly, returning back to your natural breath. And just noticing any sensations that might be present. And then as you're ready, bringing your hands into your heart at Anjali Mudra, opening your eyes if that feels right for you, or perhaps taking a moment to rededicate with your intention. Or if there was no intention, simply thanking your body for the work that it's done today. May you be happy, may you be healthy, may you be safe, and may you move through your day with ease. Thank you so much for joining me. I look forward to seeing you again. Bye-bye.